How did Lewis finally do it? What took so long? A 41-year-old dropping the hammer? And can this continue? Does Ferrari have a shot? Is this just going to be a one-off because of the track versus Ferrari actually being better than Mercedes?
According to drivers in the paddock, the Ferrari is the best cornering car on the grid, for one, but I'll get into that in a minute.
Welcome to the Paddock F1 with Greeny and the cheese. We're caffeinated, we're medicated. It's a podcast by fans for fans. Your dose of F1 news. All the races, all the tracks, and all the drama. Coming up on today's show.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, time in the Paddock F1. Greeny and the cheese. Round 7 of F1 returns to Catalonia. Returning to race in Barcelona for the Barcelona-Catalonia Grand Prix. It's not the Spanish Grand Prix. It's the Barcelona-Catalonia Grand Prix this year. The Pope was there this week. He was just there to bless the Basilica de la Sagrada Familia. But Michael, since you've actually been there, where are we going? Tell the people where to go eat, what to eat. Let's hear it.
You gotta have paella because they don't make it any. The saffron grows in the region. You gotta go where the saffron is. The saffron grows in the region. You can't get saffron over here in the U.S. like you can get over there. You gotta get the paella. It comes right out in the hot dish. You gotta love that. I could eat that all day. You cannot get it. I'm so jealous. I was just speaking actually with someone today who just got back here from Spain, who just came over to the U.S. And yeah, I'm saying you can't get the paella here. But you can't get the bagels there and the pizza there the same way you get over here. So, you know, it all works
different
out.
there anyway.
It all works out in
differently
the end.
there.
But if you're going to go with the paella and then, hey, the Basilica, man, that's been being built since the 1800s. Is it done?
No, they're getting close, though, apparently.
Getting close. They've been saying that since, like, 1948. And, yeah, I actually enjoyed, this is the most American thing I'm ever going to say, but I actually enjoyed visiting, when I was in Barcelona, the Olympic Village from 92, and seeing the U.S. Dream Team and all that stuff. That was really cool to me. Well, I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about basketball in a little bit. Greeny and the cheese in the Paddock F1. Cheese.
But this ain't no travel
you gotta
show.
finish
This is an
up strong,
F1 show. We're racing the circuit to Catalonia, 2.89 miles, 14 corners. You give it the full beans for, 67% of the lap. I'm going to take a guess on that one there, but oh, baby. Did we get a Grand Prix this weekend? Oh, man. Russell was on pole. Lewis was on the front row. Aggressive start was Ferrari. They threw Lewis on the softs to start. But Russell wasn't able to run away from him with the starts from Lewis. After the start there with the softs, he hung in there with Russell. The upgraded Ferrari looked absolutely fantastic. A little strategy. A little virtual safety car, and Lewis was out in front, and he didn't waste that. He ran away with the race. Dominated from that point on to take the win. His 106th of his career. His first in red. Ring those bells in Maranello. Russell takes second. Lando takes third. Lots to unpack on this bad boy, baby. We are caffeinated. We are medicated. Greeny, good day, sir. And one more thing. I know this is an Ain't No NBA show, but let's go Knicks. Let's go Knicks.
Let's go Knicks. I was just in New York City.
Little red skies,
just in New York City earlier.
Let's go.
Yeah, I was just in New York City this morning at around 7 o'clock in the morning, and it was never quieter in New York City. But if you were there at 2 a.m., lighting a bus on fire in Times Square. What was a bus doing in Times Square at 3 a.m. anyway? But we got fire, we got chaos over here, we got it in Barcelona. It was a hell of a ride. There was no getting sleep last night or this morning in New York City, that's for sure. The Knicks, after 53 years, have won it, and it feels like it's been a while as well since Lewis Hamilton. It hasn't quite been 53 years, but it feels like it's been a while since Ferrari or Lewis Hamilton have won a race. You got to get pumped for that. And for those Lewis Hamilton fans, even if you're not a great Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari fan, you got to give it up because it finally happened. It's not a sprint race. He did win a sprint race, but this is not a sprint.
Yes. Nope, this is not a sprint.
Grand Prix, the first Grand Prix that they've won. I don't even know when the last time Ferrari won a GP, last year.
24, like Carlos Sainz in like Mexico. It's been a while.
Hopefully that wasn't a while. Hopefully that wasn't a Quizmaster's cockpit trivia that I just messed up. But we are, again, Greeny and the Cheese in the Paddock USA at gmail.com. Hit us up. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube yet, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Everything helps us out. Keeps us bringing more and more stuff to you guys every single week. Cheese, how did Lewis finally do it? What took so long? A 41-year-old dropping the hammer, and can this continue? Does Ferrari have a shot? Is this just going to be a one-off because of the track versus Ferrari actually being better than Mercedes?
According to drivers in the paddock, the Ferrari is the best cornering car on the grid. For one, but I'll get into that in a minute. Lewis is on it. He was in the development of this car. Last year was a horror show. He even said it himself. Ferrari kept pushing him. The fans kept pushing him. The Tifosi kept pushing him. He turned it around himself. He's involved in the car. He likes the car. Let's go with the 8 upgrades they brought here to Spain. Spot on. Apparently, absolutely spot on.
For once?
For once. Ferrari chassis is fantastic. And that's not just me saying it. That's up and down the grid. They're deficient in power. I think Lando even said after the race in his post-race comments, he said if Ferrari ever gets the power to be equal or just about equal, they're going to dominate everywhere because they are that much faster in the corners. Can we just say Lewis is back? I mean, 3 on the trot. He's second, and first. A track like Barcelona can basically is everything that's going to be coming up on the calendar-wise. So that's why they test at Barcelona. If your car's good at Barcelona, you're probably going to be good everywhere. Lewis isn't done. I think that fueled him. People saying Lewis, he's done. It's over.
We're talking about him retiring a couple months ago.
Yeah.
He didn't think he was going to make it through the season. He was talking about summer break being done. So I don't know if Maranello they stepped it up and they sent.
They've absolutely stepped it up.
Packages that they may not have been planning to send this year. I don't know if the regulation changes and the battery changes in those situations and the 50-50 split turning into 60-40 split helped them that much. It could have, but they didn't just win today.
That's not until next year.
Ferrari didn't just win today. I mean, Lewis smashed today.
Yeah.
So it wasn't some, nose to nose battle here. He got out front. He hit clean air and he was gone.
Mm-hmm. Gone. He was a second plus faster than the guys behind him. like every lap. So he was absolutely flying. The Ferrari was flying. Absolutely flying today. They got the strategy right for a change.
Ponies were racing.
They were aggressive. They were aggressive. Starting him on the soft, everybody else was starting on the mediums. They threw him on the softs. The only, guy up, I think the only car in the top 10 that went aggressive like that. But it wasn't like it was a bad thing either because he hung in there. It's like George Russell got out there, got to that 3-second lead, and then it was, then he just kept gaining and gaining and gaining. No, Lewis held that 3-second gap on the softer compound till the first stop. And then he threw in an absolutely hammer time second stint. And then that virtual safety, they were bringing him in pretty much in a few more laps. But that virtual safety car hit. When it actually hit, they were, kind of past it, so they couldn't stop then. But it lasted long enough they could come back around, get that stop under the virtual safety car, which drops it by like 10 seconds, the stop time. Stay out in front, and then it was that was it. And it was over. And the go to Formula One ever just was out and gone. And you throw Lewis out there with a car he's confident in and is that quick, it's like, if for those of you in the States, overseas, you might not get it, but it's like the Yankees when they used to bring out Mariano, and then it was over from that point on. Once Lewis was out in front, it was like bringing Mariano in to close the game out. Only thing that would have stopped the Ferrari is if it broke down. But the one thing the Ferrari is pretty goddamn reliable. Not on Leclerc's side of the garage today, but in general, it's probably been the best reliable car out there.
Yeah, and if you don't know who Mariano Rivera is, look that shit up. Anyway, Shiz, we'll get into a lot more stuff, a lot more Ferrari, a lot more about Lewis's garage out at the end there. We'll get into a lot more of that. But I think it's time for us to strap on a helmet. Take a lap around the track. We got 3 sectors because it is Quizmaster's Cockpit, which needs a freaking song. And that's my bad. And I know you've been asking for a song. You're not the only one. And listen, if you have an idea for... I'll figure something out. We got the opening segment, which I appreciate you guys. If you got comments about the opening song or the closing song, we've been hearing some great feedback. Leave those comments down below if you're on the YouTube. But Cheese, what do you got?
I think you actually was shot this week.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm on like an hour of sleep right now. I was out in the 90-degree weather. I scribbled some notes down.
Well, let's test your knowledge, sir. Here we go. Question number 1. With his win today, Lewis tied this other driver with his 6th win at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Who is the other driver? This is a cupcake.
Like, I guess it's a coin flip between... You're saying it's a cupcake, so I'm assuming it means Max, but is it Shumi?
That's correct, sir.
I was seeing if you were stone-faced, by the way. If you're watching on YouTube, you did a great job stone-facing me there. Throwing out this, was it another Ferrari? So Michael Schumacher is ding. All right, next question.
Next question. Lewis won today. His first win in a red car. When was the last time Ferrari won at Circuit de Catalunya?
I believe it was Fernando in 2013.
That is correct, sir.
Boom. I scribbled that one down. In my last minute notes here, I scribbled a couple things down. That was just dumb luck that I scribbled that one down. But I did.
No,
I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. I did not have that in my noggin. I did scribble it down on my notes here. That might be a question.
That shows you studied a little bit.
I did.
So,
I did. And
you
in a time
saw
crunch
something,
too.
and
In a
you
time
wrote that,
crunch as
you
well.
wrote that note then. Let's hear it. 2 for 2.
Oh.
Get that suspense music going.
Oh my gosh. See, this is what happens. Honestly, when you don't get there. We should. But it is time. 2 purple sectors. I'm going to try to get another pole. I think I've only had 1 this season. What do you got, Chief?
Here we go. Podium today was all British drivers. When was the last time there was an all-British podium in Formula One?
Was it 1968? Was that the year?
That is correct. But the U.S. Grand Prix that year. That is 3 for 3
Wow.
in a hot lap.
Wow. I saw that note, and I actually had to double check that. Because I did see that after the race. Because that's hard to believe that it's been that long.
Yeah.
I was actually a little bit shocked by that.
Yeah.
I did see that.
Same.
I wrote it down in
Same.
my notes. I'm on. I will show you my notes, Cheese. We did not compare. We did not speak beforehand. I wrote about 5 or 6 little notes down here, and 2 of the 3 were on.
Well, you're not going to believe this, but I told you I thought you'd get all 3, and I actually put winners first in my notes, which is usually not the case.
No.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So I had faith.
Wow, that is strong, because those were not easy questions.
But here we go. Winners, we're going to rock right into it. Pierre Gasly. We'll get into other news about Monaco for in the news, but another 7th, another points finish for Alpine, which is with the Mercedes engine in the back of that car. They are like a different team this year. They are definitely in the mid-pack fight right now, for sure. And Gasly has been pretty damn consistent recently. So give it up to Pierre. Racing Bulls. Let's throw it in there again. Another double top 10 for him. We'll get other things with penalties, but they moved up to 8th and 9th place finishes today. 2 drivers at Racing Bulls have been on it recently, so got to give it to them. Definitely kicking it for sure right now. Looking better than the main team, to be honest, at some times. So give it up. Those be my winners.
Yeah, we didn't mention about George Russell's 2nd place finish at all. 18 minutes into the show. It's a bad job by us, but yeah.
No, I said it in the opening there that he finished 2nd.
Little mention.
So Lewis,
mention.
Lewis Hamilton winning in red is the story of the day. We would get to it during winners.
No doubt.
And there's other things we could have to discuss for sure. It's not a bad job. It was mentioned. It was freaking mentioned. I'm going to call you out on that shit.
It was a mention. It was a mention. But let's get into a little more, that pass at the end.
It would have been 2nd if Antonelli didn't break down either. So it wasn't like he was on fire when he had pole. He was great on Saturday, not so great on Sunday.
Still finished on the podium. Did finish 2nd. Did get passed towards the end there. But you got to give him a little honorable mention. He could have been, I guess, loser just the same, but you can't give loser to 2nd place. And go with Isaac Hadjar. Got to give it up to him for that 6th place finish. Should have been a little further back, potentially. But, this is a guy who is got that cursed second seat in Red Bull, and yeah, he's not up there with Max, but he's, I think, the closest driver, set number 2 driver on Red Bull that we have seen in many years, maybe since Danny Rick. He's
scoring points kind of on a weekly basis, which, the last couple guys that have been in that seat have not been able to accomplish.
So
I mean, he's definitely been the best since probably Danny Rick is pretty darn accurate.
And that's going to get into your
absolutely.
head. Being the second Red Bull driver, from us on our standpoint and just viewing it as fans and as commentators, is one thing. But at the same time, to be in that second seat has to be intimidating. No one wants it. You have three drivers in a year, in less than a year, being announced in that seat, and he's doing as best as he can, man. And is he keeping up with Max? No, but he's pretty close behind him. And throw the McLarens in there as well, as they're showing a little life quietly. McLaren's putting up some points quietly here the last couple races. So. And those are the winners, which, of course, brings us into losers. Who do you got there?
I'm going to give it the other Ferrari side of the garage just because of the bad luck. Last week hitting the rubble there and crashing at his home Grand Prix, and then today losing the hydraulics and the power steering of the car for Charles Leclerc. Back-to-back weeks with no points. Definitely rough, especially with what's going on the other side of the garage, which is absolutely on fire. So, definitely a bad weekend there. Aston Martin, another double DNF, especially after getting a point last time out. I mean, you thinking they're starting to maybe turn the corner, then it's right back to normal. Our car is trash, so. I don't know what the hell is going on over there. They brought all these people in, and it is just still a mess. We'll get into some other possible news about that later. But yeah, Aston Martin's a freaking shit show in a dumpster fire right now. It's been that way all season, and damn. Those be my losers.
Damn indeed. I mean, I can come straight off the bat, and first of all, I don't even know.
There's a lot. There's a lot out there.
I mean, Haas is showing absolutely no life at all anymore. Esteban showed something last week, but Ali, I don't know what's going on with Ali now. Esteban's now become the number 1 driver for Haas, and he stinks too. So that means Ali really stinks. And this was someone who was talking about Ferrari seat next.
Well, did he have a mechanical issue? Ali?
He did have a mechanical issue. That's great, but there's an issue every week now with Ali. This is consistently.
Well, it's not his fault.
Consistent disaster. He's also had issues in qualifying. He's getting out qualified consistently. It is becoming a mess at Haas. And just Haas overall is becoming a mess. I'm not just going to give it to Ali. We'll give it to the whole Haas team because they should be finishing a lot better. We're talking about them being the number 5, maybe number 6 team. They're nowhere near that at the moment. Mm-hmm. You got Cadillacs finishing ahead of them. You got, Audi finishing ahead of him as well in Bortoletto, who finished 11th today. And, Alexander Albon was a mess all day. I don't even know what the hell happened. Plus 11 laps, the fact that he finished the race 11 laps back. Was that the official finishing for him?
He had a safety issue. That's why they had to bring him in and throw him back out.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone plus 11
the camera on the top
race,
of the car somehow became loose.
That's ridiculous.
The FIA camera became
loose. That's ridiculous.
So
That's just ridiculous. That's bad luck. That's stupidity. But Williams is another team right there with Haas that had an opportunity to compete for that 5th spot this year. That 5th spot was wide open. absolutely wide open. It looks like Alpine's going to move into that spot and just take it, or Racing Bulls as well. It looks like those are the two teams that are vying for that 5th spot, when Williams and Haas have been working for years to get into that 5th spot, had that opportunity, and that's why I'm giving them the losers. And I'll give an extra special loser to the San Antonio Spurs. I know, wrong show again, but got to throw that one in there too before we end the program. What a disaster they were.
What about Wemby just walking off the court, not shaking anybody's hand?
Of the NBA.
Run into the locker room right after that game.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
Anyway.
Bad job.
Anyway, of course, that brings us to the slappiest, happiest segment.
I need to slap my goddamn for that.
This was actually kind of a hard one this week, but we're going to give it to Colapinto.
Yeah, I don't think that's hard.
Getting the 10-second penalty after the race for yellow flag infringement, not slowing down. Yellow flag area goes from 8th to 10th, costs his team some points. Definitely could come back and possibly haunt Alpine at the end of the year if it's a close finish for point spot there in the constructors, and that could be a lot of schnols on.
That could be incredibly haunting and pretty terrible. Those 3 points on a stupid mistake. Listen, you're going to lose points at times. You're going to have mechanical issues like we talk about. You know, even though we throw it in the losers there as well against the drivers. They're the ones driving the car, but we know who's. But, you know, when you have an unforced error, let's call it that, what it is. It's an unforced error. You're just not paying attention. And that in the back end of the season, you know, especially where they're going to be in between 5th and 6th. And to go from 5th to 6th, you're talking millions of dollars for the team. You're talking wind tunnel time and all that good stuff. And all that off-season stuff that depends on those points. And you don't want to lose those points, man. You're going to lose points. But you don't want an unforced error like that, especially just not paying attention error where you're speeding through a yellow flag. So, you know, it's like, hey, everyone else is slowing down. I'll go faster. You know, like, everyone's slowing down for a reason. And that is our slap.
Get that hand out. Get that powder out. Slap your damn self. Yes. Best damn sound of the week. So take that fantasy ride to that fantasy island of Greentopia. Where the beer flows like wine, the wine flows like beer, and that cannabis, oh yes, my friends, it grows as far as the eyes can see. Look at it out there. Look at it. Just look at it. Green and luscious. Take a little whiff. That air smells. Yes. To take a little walk to the top of the hill, sit at the top. It's like Monica, baby. Are we catching it or are we checking out?
I think we're both in the green. For the first time maybe all season.
How about that shit?
How about that? Let's go through the bets with the logic, what we were thinking. First of all, for those who don't know, Cheese is not just a New York Knicks fan who won the championship about, feels like 6 days ago, but it was about 14 hours ago, believe it or not. Definitely does not feel like 14 hours ago, I'll tell you that.
No.
And then you come back a couple of hours later, Cheese, and Lewis Hamilton brings it. It hasn't been 53 years like the Knickerbockers with Ferrari. But it feels like it's been that long.
It's been a while.
So you are swimming in it, but I think after that, plus 650, you picked him to win. 41 years old. That's a bold pick right there at plus 650. You win that, but you lose the other ones. You also had Kimi to win. Obviously, you're not going to get that no matter what if Lewis is winning, but he didn't do well. You sent me Ferrari double top 10 plus 100, but Ferrari double top 10 was negative 600. It doesn't matter anyway at this point. But obviously, I assumed you meant double top 6 because I don't think you ever placed, in the years I've known you, for 25 years now, I don't think you ever placed a bet in the negative line ever, especially negative 600. So I put you in at the top Ferrari double top 6, as I bet that as well. We both lost that. Thank you very much for the mechanical failure at the end. And then you had Russell, Antonelli, and Hamilton box. I as well had Russell, Antonelli, and Hamilton box. Lost that one. Ferrari double top 6. I had also plus 100. Lost that one. I did have Isaac Hadjar who pulled it out at the end, plus 200. And Pierre Gasly to finish top 10, plus 275. You got to have a little more faith. That's not a lot of faith in Alpine, having top 10, plus 275. I really enjoyed that because I really, really had a good feeling. And of all the bets I placed, that Pierre Gasly plus 275 might have been the money bet of the year. Because if you're watching Alpine right now, you know that they are easily probably right up there, 5th best team, at worst 6th best team. So Gasly hit that for me. You had Lewis hit for you, plus 650. I'll do the mathematics here, but I think you go up plus 375 on top. That's a heck of a day for you. I bet 200 Greenybucks, but I get 50, 300, around 3. I'll have to do the exact math on that. A little less than you, so even though I got a 280 Greenybuck push here, you come in with a 375 Greenybuck push. So just every time I think of getting a little closer, you come in with a big win. Good for you. Good for Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari. And good for me. Good for both of us. We finished in the green, although you did extend your lead. I guess whatever points I made up last week, 125 I made up, you got right back. So you still got a 600 point Greenybuck lead. So, yep. But don't count your money
while you're sitting at the table, son.
While you're sitting at the table. I could tell that to anyone who bet on the San Antonio Spurs in the last week. Anyway.
That's what Kenny Rogers said, dude. Listen to Kenny.
Count your money, you're sitting at the table. Brings us, of course, to our final segment. I don't think we have much because we have it in the news next week, but it is time for In the News. In the news.
In the news. Here we go.
My voice is cooked, by the way.
If you recall, last week Alpine did put in an appeal for Gasly not getting that podium, and Alpine actually won. They said Gasly wasn't speeding. Apparently there was some kind of issue with that, so a lot of other people weren't speeding either. But Gasly got his penalty overturned. Therefore, he finishes in 3rd and gets his podium at Monaco, even though he's not going to be able to actually get on the podium in Monaco, which is, the bigger deal, but he'll get the points for it. A lot of drivers are pretty pissed because they ended up serving their penalties during the race, but he didn't serve his. What's your thoughts on that?
Consistency.
Tough nuts?
Consistency. No, it's not. I mean, yeah, it is. It's going to be in this situation. It's just suck ass. What are you going to do? It happens. It happens in sports. But going forward, listen, you can walk through a field and step in a pile of dog shit. Okay? It happens. As Forrest Gump says. It happens. Sometimes. But if you go back through that field and step on the dog shit again, then you're an idiot. Right? So are we going to make the change or not? Right? Are we going to be consistent or not? The problem's not going to be this time. The problem's going to be when it happens again. First of all, everyone getting penalties. Everyone getting penalized last week. Just definitely, probably one of the most penalized races I've ever seen in my life.
It's a lot of speeding tickets.
It was a lot of speeding tickets. It's like pretty much like me driving through New York City. Thank God those traffic cameras don't give you points on your license. It's just a $50 fine. Yeah, they don't like me on Riverside Drive. But anyway, Yeah, you got to be consistent. So if they're consistent going forward and they keep consistency and everyone has the same type of penalty, whatever it is. Listen, if you get a penalty after your final pit stop, you made 2 stops or whatever it is, and you get a penalty after, I understand. But if you go into the pit and everyone else is pitting, and everyone else is serving a 5-second, 10-second, whatever the penalty is, and you're not when you pit, that's a clear advantage or disadvantage, depending on who you are and what the situation is, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the case of like George Russell from what happened to that with that mess,
That was just stupidity. Speaking of stepping on dog shit.
That was because he was trying to serve the penalty for the speeding penalty. So they, what happened there. But anyway, I think they got to come up with this probably should have been ruled probably a lot quicker, because of the telemetry that is out there and that's on these cars. So there's got to be a better way. And Pierre should have been able to celebrate on the podium then. So, but anyway, or he might not have been there if the other penalties weren't there but I digress. It's kind of a mess.
It's a mess. Next story.
Lawrence Stroll finally beat his teammate in qualifying and finished in front of him. He was asked afterwards what he thought about it, and he said he didn't care. That sounds like a damn question you would ask, because you were always reminding him that it's been this many races since he hasn't been his teammate in qualifying. So
that is our number 1 viewed video on YouTube, by the way, by far. Is me trashing Lance Stroll. Whenever I trash Lance Stroll, we get plenty of search engine optimization, as they say. Listen, of course he cares. Such a liar. Of course you care. Because you're the worst in history. On average, you outqualify 1 out of 4 times. 25% of the time, you outqualify your teammate in the same car. So of course you care. And if you don't care...
You always want to beat the guy on the other side of the garage.
And if you don't care, then go do something else with your life. He's someone who has an opportunity. Forget about if he ever made a penny in Formula One. He can do whatever he wants. Is he a great driver? We talk about this all the time. Yes, he's one of the best drivers in the world. But he's not a top 20 driver in the world. Maybe in the top 100 drivers in the world. Sure. But is he a top 20 driver in the world? No. Is it amazing to be a top 100 driver in the world? Absolutely. Are you and I anywhere close to that? No. And we've never been. Right? So... yeah, he's an excellent driver, but he's nowhere near the guys on the rest of the field. And the guys on the rest of the field that are at his level are kids. You know? It's like,
young man's game.
It's like taking karate class with a bunch of 10-year-olds. It's like a grown man. Like, of course you're going to kick their ass. Like... you're not supposed to go against them. You're going against your ilk. People who have been in the sport for, what was his rookie year? 17?
I'm not sure on that.
Maybe. 18? It's been a while. It's been almost a decade since he's been in the sport. Around a decade in the sport. Yeah. You can't compare him to guys who have been in the 1, 2, 3... seasons in F1.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. He's out of that league, yet he's comparing himself and being put in the same category as these other guys. And it's time. It's time because he's not. He's not. He should be a number 1 driver.
All fair.
They shouldn't be bringing in a Fernando Alonso with this team. They should be bringing in a rookie.
Not at this point.
They should be bringing in a rookie or someone in a teenager, young 20s, some top F2 driver to be the number 2 at Aston Martin. To look to for the future.
That's right.
And that's what they're treating Lance Stroll as the number 2 up-and-coming kid driver. He was like he was 10 years ago. And
Let's be fair.
he's just outgrown the karate class. You can't be with kids anymore. I think that's a good comparison.
Absolutely fair. The Cosmo.
Fighting them kids.
Next story, we got Toyota won the hyperclass division, the top class at Le Mans for the 24 Hours Le Mans that actually went on this weekend as well. What did you think about the FIA holding the 24 Hours in Le Mans and a Formula One race in the same weekend? This usually does not occur.
You know, I talked to you about this during the week. I did not like it at all from this standpoint because I think the FIA is being shady with the fact that they don't want the drivers at driving in the race. But at the same time, F1 as a sports body, right, wants these drivers at the event to be representing, to be doing the schmoozing and the pictures and all that BS. If anyone's ever been to like a corporate event where they hire a celebrity to just be like there so you can be near them and touch them and like whatever and like call all your friends or take a picture and throw it up on Instagram. Like, hi, I'm with an F1 driver or whatever you are. You know, for those who were lucky enough to be able to be in those situations. That's what it is. You know, if you work for Rolex, you're going to bring all the people of Rolex, including some of the lower level workers that work there, and get an opportunity to meet Carlos Sainz or like something like that, right? That's part of the experience of these events. There's the fan-facing part, but there's also the back part with the sponsorships. And guess what, Cheese? As successful as Formula One is, they still have a responsibility to keep their sponsorships happy. You look at the track and you see ads and sponsorships everywhere, which clearly says that F1's revenue stream is relying on all these everything everywhere, right? All over the car, all over everything, right? They tattoo it on their foreheads if they could, you know? I'm still waiting for someone to have a Nike swoosh tattooed on their face somewhere or something like that. I can't believe it hasn't happened yet, to be honest. But anyway, it's just it feels like a stupid move from a PR perspective for many reasons. Le Mans is something that you just want on its own weekend and its own self. I'm sure there's reasoning behind it, whether it's against Max Verstappen because Max Verstappen wants to be an endurance race driver now. I don't know, but something fishy's going on because I don't ever remember Le Mans being the same weekend as an F1 race.
So, I mean, it used to be back
Could
in
have
the
been
day.
scheduling.
Formula One drivers just always took part in it anyway because those teams wanted the best drivers. So that's how it was back in the day. But I mean, it just takes away from some of the spectacle, I guess, too, because the two events should be separate. In my opinion, Le Mans, so it's been around for, was it 94th or 5th edition or something like that this year it was, so. But it should be on separate weekends. And that's all I really got. We'll save some other stories for in the news next week since we got a fortnight's time till our next Grand Prix. So.
Well, where are we going next, Cheese?
We are in those Styrian Mountains. So we head to the Red Bull Ring in Austria.
The European leg continues as we go to our third straight race in Europe. And a little more efficient in Europe, these races have been, Cheese. So we have back-to-back weeks for the first time, which feels like forever. For those of you listening all our friends up in New York City in the area, go Knicks. Hopefully you got some sleep last night because you are not getting any. The city is shutting down on Thursday for the parade. First parade in 15 years in New York City for a sports team. How about that? the ticker tape parade, for those who've never been to one, it is a spectacle, that's for sure. But this is not a basketball program. This is a Formula One program. Say what you got to say, brother.
I will see you guys next week for In the News, and then 2 weeks for post-race about the Austrian Grand Prix. But until then, as always, stay medicated, my friends.
Peace.
With Greeny and the cheese. Coming live from the US of A. Podcast Groove. The boys bring you the F1 news. Everything you need, so you know just what to do. And it's all alright, 'cause they do it right. In the paddock with Greeny and the cheese. In the paddock with Greeny and the cheese. In the paddock with Greeny and the cheese. Ferrari's gonna drive you crazy. Mad Max, he's so amazing. Yeah, McLaren, Merc, and more. In the paddock with Greeny and the cheese. And they know their way around the track. When you need the facts, you can trust them. They won't steer you wrong. Always right on time. They know their way around a microphone. And it's all right, 'cause they do it right. In the paddock with Greeny and the cheese.